Miss Stumping.
Are you going to give Bertie Arvind a hug today, Lenny? Where the hug's going to go?
I think he might need one the way he's going.
This was definitely a chance.
Can we see that Miss Stumping again? Let's take a look at the replay if we can.
I mean, if you're Robin Singh, what do you say to Bertie Arvind in particular after a day like today? Do you give him a full tongue lashing? Do you just give him a quiet arm around the shoulder? What do you do?
One of the big things we learned in our level 3 coaching course, you got to love your keepers. Probably the most underappreciated part of the team, particularly young keepers. He's only 20 years of age, Bertie Arvind. He has not had a good day. I'm going to see if we can get that replay for you. The second last ball of the 46th over. Did feel like it was a miss-stumping, didn't it? I'm not sure whether there might have been an edge involved. Could have even been a drop catch if so. It was giving us runs.
Well, I didn't think he got anything on it, but it was signaled as a run. Maybe because the umpire, Paul Burns, was so baffled by the amount of chances that have gone down today, he was distracted into not giving the signal. But it was a chance one way or another.
It was definitely, if it wasn't a miss-stumping, I think this is buys. I'm not sure why it wasn't given as buys. Maybe a feather of an outside edge. Maybe both a drop catch and a miss-stumping from that delivery. Either way, it's another chance. The fifth to have gone a begging, 3 of them due to Bertie Arvind as Zohar Khan does come back into the attack.
And Chirag Suri doesn't want to make it another missed chance by even attempting a run out there, because if he missed, I think he knew you were going to come after him, Lenny.
Yeah, we've been hammering the poor old Emiratis today with good reason, though. They have not had a good day in the field. They bowled excellently, though, and I want to really focus on that. The brilliance of their spinners, Ahmed Raza, Basil Hamid, Rohan Mustafa in particular. Also, that opening spell from Sadiq was a very impressive one, coming down the hill, bowling with good pace, good aggression. On the whole, they've just been let down by their fielders. Bowlers excellent, fielders much less so. A grades for those bowlers. I'm not sure I can say which grade the fielders are receiving. I don't think it would be a pass as what's going to get a couple into the leg side.
Are they on a simple pass-fail grading scale in Dublin, Lenny?
A through E was the way, and there's also the Fs or the NG, no grade if you went really badly. E was a fail. I had a few E's in my career. Wasn't the most studious student.
That's why we're making the big bucks in here, Lenny, instead of out being engineers.
I was too busy playing sport and enjoying life and meeting people. Never quite saw the purpose of structured examinations. Someone telling you whether you were smart enough or not. Big hit. And Watt has got more than enough of this to fly over the head of Basil Hamid. It's cleared him by 15, 20 yards, and that is the loudest cheer of the day, without doubt. The Scottish crowd have been a bit frustrated, the home crowd, but here on a beautiful Sunday that it's turning out to be, Watt has got them going. Again, it's the pace bowler who's dispatched all the way.
Now he tries a slower ball here, but even still, Watt is able to adjust to it. So even when the pace bowler tries to take pace off the ball, it still disappears. And again, I just wonder. You can't do any worse than the pace bowlers have done. So why not even try Aryan Lakra here? Because the pace bowlers are automatically going for double digits and over. Aryan Lakra can't do much worse.
I think maybe if it was 2 right-handers at the crease, I think Ahmed Raza would have done that. But just the fact that it's a left-handed Watt at the crease and Lakra would be spinning it into him might have been a bit vulnerable. Gets it into the block hole this time and won't get a second as Hamid fields. Looks almost like a carbon copy of the first game, this between these two sides, Peter. Scotland are going to end up with a very similar score you'd suspected to that 262 they made in the first game. That proved 60-odd runs too many for UAE. We're going to see a carbon copy result, or will the UAE batters be able to chase this total down?
Well, the only reason I give UAE a chance is seeing how easily Scotland chased yesterday and the pitch flattening out in the afternoon. That might give some hope to the UAE.
Cross 25 shy of a century here. Slower ball bouncer bowled into the wicket. Junaid Sadiq will do the fielding. Might not have time to get there to the 100. What do you think, Peter? 19 deliveries left.
You never know. Again, Aaron Jones took 26 off and over yesterday in the 50th. So if he's on strike and it's Sahur or Junaid Sadiq for some reason were to come back, let him put it past him.
Firmly struck down the ground. Just be the single. So what will keep the strike? 3 overs left. 2, 3, 5 for 6 here. Another look at this 6, Peter, and this was an almighty strike, wasn't it? Slower ball probably deceived Watt a little bit, but he's adjusted really nicely.
It's all those forearm curls Mark Watt's been doing. Pumping that iron, baby. He's a bigger, bulkier version than he first appeared on the international scene.
Reverse sweep attempted, and good field positioning, good knowledge of where to protect off Mustafa, because very, very fine, the third man fielder. Often that would have squared it away for 4, but Watt will only get a single. Heaved into the leg side. The fielder doesn't pick it up at all, so they're going to get back for a second quite comfortably. Just kind of stood there, didn't he, as it was coming out towards him, and then he gestures towards the mid-wicket fielder. Why didn't you go across and get it?
Looks like Basil Hamid out there.
Speared in and smashed down the ground straight to Mohammad Wasim. He'll tidy up. Right into the block hole. Watt's got this quite nicely. Could run away for at least a couple. The fielder tumbles to cut it off from the boundary. That's Aryan Lakra. 2 more to the total.
He's getting quite a workout out there on the boundary. Number 77.
Attempts that switch hit, reverse sweep, whatever you want to describe it as. There are 2 fielders there for that shot. Is that the right option?
Again, you talk to these guys and they say as long as the boundary is open, that's what determines the shot. That's all they care about. If the guy's in the ring, they don't care about it. Because if you hit it 3 yards either side, it's 4. They only care if the boundary is left unprotected. That's why they're going for that shot.
It's where it goes, but not with the reverse hit off the under edge. Mustafa, dynamic and brilliant as ever, doesn't concede any boundaries. It's only 7 off the over. Great effort from him, none for 37. He won't win the headlines today, but What an impressive spell of bowling from Rohan Mustafa. 2 to go, 242 for 6. This is surely the chance, the over of Zahoor Khan in the 49th. Scotland have to find a big one from somewhere.
Zahoor took 4 wickets in the first match between these two teams here in Aberdeen. And then he took 1 against USA, but it's a rare wicketless performance for him so far. He's got 1 more opportunity to rectify that.
Singles everywhere now, really, even to the men in the circle. How much of an asset is Rohan Mustafa to the UAE? To be able to bowl those darting off breaks right at the death means you don't have to go to pace from both ends, and in conditions like these, just been perfect for the UAE to close things out.
Well, we've seen spinners more and more over the years get used at the death, and you can understand why, with the way he's bowling and why he has been so effective. It has changed the orthodox thinking of using pace bowlers at the death only. When you see somebody as effective as he is at keeping the runs down.
Slower ball bouncer, it's hooked around the corner.
I mentioned Zahoor, rare wicketless performance from him in his career. He's only had 4 matches coming into today where he's ended wicketless out of 33 previous ODIs, so essentially 85-86% of his ODIs, he takes at least 1 wicket. It'd be highly unusual for him to end without one if he can't pick one up off the final 4 balls in his spell here today.
Bowling. Zahoor Khan won't go wicketless. Goes for the block hole Yorker. Great asset to be able to hit that at 80 miles an hour plus and then bowl your slower ball bouncers. 2 completely different deliveries. Watt's ramps and scoops never really worked and just ends up getting out of the way of the ball, and the leg stump is knocked out of the ground.
Well, he tried to guess, and he guessed wrong. He was waiting for a full and wide attempted Yorker, and he was trying to shuffle not just across his crease but down the wicket a bit so we could try and get under this and create a scoopable length. And instead of it being a wide Yorker, it was at the base of the leg stump. Very clever from Zahoor Khan, anticipating what Mark Watt was about to do, countering it very, very effectively.
Yeah, good execution of that leg stump Yorker. It's the angle around the wicket as well. Possible stroke to play, particularly with the amount of movement that Watt made. You tend to see the best exponents of the scoop shot actually stay reasonably still, and it certainly would stay in line with something like a 4th or a 5th stump, but Watt went miles outside his off stump and ended up being nowhere near the ball. And Zahoor Khan won't go wicketless today, finds that breakthrough.
Oh, it was pure premeditation. Didn't wait to see where the ball was going to come from. He decided early on, I'm thinking this is going to be a wide Yorker, or a wide full delivery on the wide guideline. I want to get as far as I can outside off, try and drag this back over fine leg, and he guessed completely wrong.
Safian Sharif to the crease in at number 9. Cross running out of balls as well. Slower ball bouncer. And will get through for the single. He's going to throw at the non-strikers, and I think Sharif was safely home anyway. And long on comes in to prevent any chance of a second overthrow. Very difficult delivery to hit that, particularly if you're new to the crease.
And we've seen the difference between Zahoor and Junaid Sadiq. All the variations he's got. Pace off the ball, just that one delivery with pace off the ball that Marquardt hit for 6 on the slower ball, but everything pace off the ball. We've seen very few deliveries at full pace, and pace off the ball with these variations has been so effective.
Cross going to need something very special here. Only 8 legal deliveries left in the innings. Love to find a way to get 5 boundaries, get 20 runs. Yelp of frustration. And I think that means that this delivery for Safi and Sharif, it's got to be 2, 4 or 6. You're going to want an even number to keep Cross on strike for the final over. Instead, he's going to get a single, and that's not what Scotland wanted. Matthew Cross will be stranded at the non-striker's end, and he looks to the skies. He realises, in frustration, that means any chance of 100 is probably gone. Six balls left, Peter. 2, 4, 7 for 7.
Like a yoga spell. What looked like a very mediocre spell for Zahor turns into a much more positive one after that last wicket. Just 5 runs conceded for off the bat in that over.
Going to take on the quick single. So Cross will get back on strike. 5 balls left, 19 to get.
At the moment, this is Matthew Cross's 4th highest score he's made in his ODI career. He's got the 2 centuries, both came in 2018. And a 91 against Papua New Guinea and Port Moresby, 2017. This one's going to land in no man's land. They're going to get 2 for it. Didn't middle it at all, but there's a huge gap between very straight, deep mid-wicket and the long on fielder, so it fell uncomfortably, and they'll keep the strike.
250 comes up, 17 to get. 3 maximums would get him there, Peter. 4 balls to go. Can he find something off Mustafi? So difficult to hit. All he can do is dig it out. He should get back for 2, so he'll at least keep the strike. But I think the 100's going to be a bridge too far for the Scotland skipper here on his home soil in Aberdeen.
Never know, Lenny. We could see a waist-high no ball from Ronnie if he tries to spear it in too hard.
I suspect he'll be left stranded in the 80s or 90s. Runs for the team, though, the most important thing now. You want to pick up 2 boundaries, get up to 260. Instead, he's being cleaned up. Rohan Mustafa is extraordinary. He just never misses the block hole. It was full, it was straight. The stump is knocked out of the ground. It's the leg stump Yorker. So difficult to hit. You can't get down the track to him because he's too quick. And he is so good at this. Cleans up Matthew Cross.
And this is why you're seeing him bowl at the depth instead of a pace bowler. He just gets everything so full. And the accuracy is impeccable. Previous ball, Matthew Cross just tried to jam out with an open face behind point. Tries to repeat the shot here, but it's just too straight on the stumps, and he can't get the timing right. And he ends for his 4th highest score in ODI cricket.
Yeah, fine innings from the Scotland skipper. 85 off 92 deliveries. Probably not his most fluent, but he did really well to keep up towards a strike rate of 100 before he was cleaned up by this brilliant leg stump Yorker. Speared in. Just don't know how you play this bowling. 2 balls left. Sold to the crease. Smashes it down the ground, and Mohammad Razim fields cleanly.
Those three previous high scores for Cross, again, came in Zimbabwe, Dubai, and Papua New Guinea, so it's his highest score on home soil. Great moment for him on his home ground in Aberdeen, in his hometown.
Sharif gets it down the ground. They'll surely take on the second. There's nothing to lose, but it could be a run out and given. Selfless stuff from Chris Soule, trying to get back for the second. Didn't get much of a head start, though. And Sharif will get one run, but Soule will be run out. It means that he just went backwards there, didn't he, rather than running through Soule. He should have put the head down and just sprinted through. That's what cost him this wicket, despite the dive, the throw a little bit high. And what that means is the score will finish with 254 for 9. There'll be a single and a run out off the last delivery, and that'll close things out from here in this first innings. We'll leave you with a quick look at the scorecards, which should be probably a little bit behind time. 254 for 9, it will finish up when that last ball goes into the books. 85 for Matthew Cross and 77 for Callum McLeod, but the bowling effort from UAE, really laudable. It was outstanding. In fact, three spinners in particular, Basil Hamid, Ahmed Raza and Rohan Mustafa, sharing 5 wickets between them.
Well, at the pick of those, Basil Hamid, I thought he bowled outstanding today. Momentum shifting spell, and somebody who typically might only chip in with maybe 5 or 6 overs, but he deserved to bowl a full 10 with the rhythm he was in, and justified with those 2 wickets at the end of his spell.
So that'll wrap it up for the first innings. We'll wait for our graphics team to get that corrected. Always difficult. It's a single and a run out off the last ball. The Scottish innings will end with 254 for 9. We'll be back with you with all the action in about 40 minutes' time.